morning and welcome back to the Now Morning Show, where on Mondays we get to meet the artists behind the beautiful pieces that are on set as we continue our collaboration with the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago. This morning I have the pleasure of introducing you to Naveen Lalla, the artist who has given us some beautiful moody pieces on Now. Good morning and welcome to the set.
Good morning. Thank you.
It is an absolute pleasure because we usually have unique pieces and yours are no different, except they really are. I understand that your art, though, came as something learned, if you will, in the latter part of your life because you weren't an artist all along.
No.
What happened to help you discover this talent?
So, you correctly said I was never into art. For the first 43 years of my life, I was what you would probably call a left brain dominant. I was very much into maths and science and stuff like that, so I didn't really explore my creative side until later on. And there was an incident that happened where a friend of mine had passed, and that forced me to kind of refocus life away. And I adopted a philosophy a couple of years ago, which is something called Live Life Now. And so how to operationalize that, what I do on my birthday was that I actually set a goal. And the only objective of that goal is that it needs to be something new. So it forces you to do something new. And then about 7 years ago, that new thing was art. So how I went about it was after I made that goal, I went to one of those art supply shops. I bought a small acrylic set. I bought 2 small canvases, and I looked on YouTube on
The University of YouTube, oh yeah.
About how to paint an apple for beginners, and that's how my journey started.
Literally just trying it, deciding to do something new.
Yeah.
It absolutely looks like way more than that because the detail, the textures, even the use of contrast and colors we definitely need to get into. So it sounds like you may have explored a few techniques or styles. Can you describe what you've given us today, at least in this exhibition or this collection rather?
Right. So my journey, so what I wanted to do was not cheat the process, right? So as I started and I started become more proficient, I wanted to explore all different styles, all different mediums, all different techniques, and then basically pay homage to the process of learning art. And through that, I've done mostly acrylic, but I've done watercolors, oils, charcoal, most mediums.
Okay. Any favorites or any preferred mediums?
Well, acrylics are the easiest to work with. Okay. I think I like watercolors more because there's a randomness about watercolors that you can't really plan for, and sometimes it comes out very nice. But just to back up a little bit, like how I approach art, I think is a little different. So what I do is that early on in my art career, there were 2 pieces. There was a piece I call River Lime, which is actually just 2 ducks by a river, hence the word River Lime.
I get it.
And which was very moody, very much like these, right? Muted colors, very moody. And then there was another piece called Jesus Walks, which was the polar opposite, which was very abstract but full of color. And it was strange. Both of those pieces were in my office for a while, and I used to observe people having a very emotional response to each of those pieces. So that just piqued my curiosity in that how could 2 pieces of art that are polar opposites of the artistic spectrum evoke the same emotional response?
Well, we'll find out how these give some emotional responses because this morning you've learned us 5 pieces that are staying on set with us for this week. So let's just walk us through rather what each piece is about, starting with the one behind me.
Right. So what I do is that just my process is that I actually have 2 objectives when I do art. I have a creative objective, which is that evoking that emotional response, but I also have an artistic objective because I'm now learning. So I need to target artistic.
And you're still using that math principle.
Yes, that's I'm very expressive, right? So the the evolution to the monochromatic type of background was, it started off as a technical objective, which is to learn tone and value. But then I realized that it's a nice way of drawing the observer into the painting, and then the pop of color will just shift the focus of what I want them to see.
And you wanted them to see this piece.
Right.
What exactly is it called?
So this is Fernando Rock. So I'm not sure if you know San Fernando. So this is a very unique structure in the middle of the sea in San Fernando. This is looking towards San Fernando Hill. So you will see the background as, I think that's the learning hospital, the teaching hospital tower. And they're very, very unique in that it's just a singular tree that's at the top of this rock. So I just found it very, very captivating.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Our team was debating on where it was, and now that we know, the debates will continue. We seem to look at scenery, though, and spaces. So what's the next space next to that one? This piece is what exactly?
So this piece is not really a picture per se, as in a definite place. It tries to pay homage to a lot of those old houses in the middle of the jungle and the bush, right? But the objective of this one was, I'm not sure if your audience could see it, is heavily textured, right? And the whole idea was that, old trees and old roots and old houses have such history, but a lot of that history and a lot of that story is captured in the texture and the roughness of the substance.
Now, this piece is called This Old House, but I think the focal point is that bit of blue there.
Right.
Any particular reason for that?
So again, the idea is that to draw you into the painting, to appreciate the texture, but then that blue that has no logical reason to be in a forest, right? It actually now focuses your attention to that blue. Right. And that's kind of the theme with all the pieces, which is the monochromatic draws you in, and the pop of color focuses it differently.
All right, well then let's head to Moruga Moods, where we see a bit more color in comparison to the other pieces, but a similar theme, that moodiness, that gloom almost, and then the pop of color.
So there are a couple of places in Trinidad that I find very, very interesting. Moruga is one of those places. Actually, the whole south coast of Trinidad, it just is like, it is frozen in time of sorts, which I like about it. And then many of my paintings actually pay homage to the Perog of sorts, because I think throughout Trinidad history, especially coastal towns, the Perog is it is so fundamental to the history of those places. The idea of this one was really to draw you into the painting, but the Perog, I tried to make the Perog look like it was almost coming out of the painting, and that's the whole idea of this one.
So next up we have lilies, and I love the simplicity of the name, because this one certainly makes you focus on the lilies, but the mist and the somber mood, if you will, of this piece is intriguing. Tell me more.
So this is a composition of a couple reference photos, and it was trying to juxtapose opposites, almost yin and yang of sorts. So the background is foggy and unclear, the foreground is very, very clear and pristine. The background will have that industry type of feel, which is the electrical tower. The foreground, I mean, nothing is softer than a lily, right? The background is black and white. The foreground is that color. The little pop of color with the whites, the purity of the whites.
And lastly, I think something that everybody tries to do for CXC, an older house, this one being called the Fortress of Solitude, is it?
Yeah, so if you're into Superman and stuff like that, Fortress of Solitude is a play on that. But this, I mean, I've been fortunate to hike all over Trinidad, and I mean, a lot of people don't know Trinidad is just such an amazing place, Trinidad and Tobago. But everywhere you go, you will always see a house or a shack somewhere in the middle of the bush, and the whole idea was really to pay homage to that there. And it also plays on the fact that, everyone, no matter how busy your life is, you need that space, that fortress of solitude. So that was what I tried to depict with that painting.
Exceptional job, Mr. Lalla. The pieces speak to everybody, whether you like color or not. And you certainly have reminded us of the beauty of Trinidad and Tobago, with special mention of the Southland, I guess. Thank you very much for joining us and for loaning us your pieces, so that we will be seeing you, at least your work, for the rest of the week. But for now, it was a pleasure chatting you up and getting to know your work. Please continue to paint. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate this opportunity.
My pleasure. Now, guys, you will be able to enjoy the works of Mr. Naveen Lalla, our guest artist for this week. But we do have to take a break. And when we come back, we'll be chatting with the TTPS, as always, on this Monday edition of the Now Morning Show. We'll be back.
Singing like, yeah. Pretty brown skin, give me love right now. Singing like,